So to the ADHD example,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding you correctly. You were suggesting that the fact that that the car horn is extremely loud, and it bothers you, is due to the idea that we've been conditioned that okay, you have this sensory problem, but when you go to the Metallica concert, there's no, there's really no inhibitions. You're there and you're
Taking it all
good.
in. Remember, nurse ADHD folks, we take in all the stimuli at once. It's not like we have disattention, which I have a problem with the attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Like there's some kind of attention deficit. We're not attention deficit. We're just attention different. And I don't. If I try to use cognitive behavioral tools, stuff to kind of try to calm down when things are really loud outside of me, that like a car horn honking or someone talking that's distracting me, that's just really uncomfortable. None of that works. The more we focus on, the louder it gets. You can't stop thought. And just knowing you can't stop thought is actually pretty liberating, because all you ever need to do is be okay with it. It's not a big deal. Like, we are so scared of our experience. Like, for years, I was scared of that people would judge me when I would forget my keys and I was late to work, or like the other week I forgot my suitcase. Well, I was already at the airport. I'm like, oh shit! Thank God the suitcase. Yeah, you're a. I mean, I have you know, I have a gold star on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I broke Guinness Book of World Records when it comes to forgetting stuff.
Sure.
But once I've made peace with that may happen sometimes, that if I lose my keys, I have a spare pair somewhere, right? But I don't beat myself up for it. Sometimes I'll forget. Sometimes I'll like completely lose. I'm like, Sam, what the hell is wrong with you? Stupid, right? But the greatest thing is have some self-compassion when that does happen. Whatever it is, whether it's ADHD or just being human, just the human experience of making mistakes. But for me, until I really kind of saw this understanding, it was urban warfare between my ears. I mean, we're talking about Beirut, and it was just awful, because it would be really difficult to bounce back from my ADHD-ness, my humanness, as we call it, right? Because ADHDers are really sensitive. I've always focused as an ADHDer on what's wrong with me. I've been told by clinicians and well-meaning psychologists, they do mean well. I mean, most psychologists, neurologists, people that are medical practitioners or in the mental health field, there's some pretty amazing people out there. It's not their fault that they were taught how to treat someone backwards. Basically, the entire time I was shown what treatment I needed, or what kind of behavioral exercises I need to do to treat the symptoms of ADHD, until I started looking at what the gifts are of ADHD. I was lost in the desert. I mean, it's amazing when I look back at it, how I finished grad school and how I was able to make a living back then. But the reason why
Yeah.
is because we have this inner GPS. We have this intelligence behind the noise, underneath all this stuff going on in the brain, that guides us along this river of life. If we pay attention to it, it's intuition. It's this calm voice that I've been pointing to, we've been talking about. And you can't find it when you're trying to intellectualize where it is. Where is it? It's in the closet. Right? I left my intuition in the car. It's on the stage. It's all within you. And when we see that we all have that within us, when we get quiet, you don't need to meditate. If you like to meditate, then great. It happens to us all day long.
The biggest thing that I think most people who have struggled with mental health and these different sorts of, for lack of a better term, disorders, it's definitely the interior dialogue. It's very much, it's also a lot easier for us to be negative. It almost takes no effort to be
But it's
negative.
addicting.
Right.
It's
It is
just like
very addicting.
depression's addicting, just like
Yeah.
anxiety is addicting. We just don't notice the addictive processes going on, because what are we doing when, if we focus on the negative in our life over and over and over again, we see all the things that are going wrong. We still see how nobody likes us, you can't keep a relationship, whatever it is. We focus on the negative, we actually start to repattern the brain. We actually, without innocently, we begin to create new neural patterns, which is conditioning. The brain is a very plastic organ, neuroplastic organ. So it's kind of like going to the gym, right? And working out. You lift weight, you do bicep curls, whatever you do, and then you build muscle. Well, you can build a anxiety muscle too, and you can build a depression muscle too. And that's kind of what really is heartbreaking for me, to see people that are so smart, that are so capable clients. I'm like, some of these folks that are, because I work with folks in recovery too, um, so brilliant. You're like, how did this happen to you, man? Like, you're the man. You got it together. You're smart. You clean up well. You got a smile. Go put on a suit on and go make $1 million. You know, go write the next Pulitzer book. It's because we are taught the wrong way, innocently.